piece of stone. Have a good look at the two samples you've got and see how they're made. You can see with this butterfly, all they've done is drawn the outline of a butterfly on a stone and then cut that away, which gives you that profile, and then afterwards they've come in and done some detailing. For this video, here's another sample. So they've drawn a hole in the middle, they've slightly rounded the edges, and then afterwards they've come in, made some detailing, polished it, and then put your highlights in. So for this very simple video, what we're going to do is we're going to take you through the carving of a really simple form. So we take one piece of stone. It's the thinnest piece of stone in the set, and I'm just going to draw a very simple circle on the top. Now you can do any design you like at all. In fact, it's really good to experiment and just learn what the tools can do, etc. So you can see the design there. We're now going to grip it inside the vise with the furry side of the leather gripping against the stone. This will enable the metal of the vise to grip on the stone and hold it while you're cutting it. Now if you have a look at the design, the stone we're not going to use is all of this stone here, all of this stone here, all of this stone. So we just want to keep here, and we want to take away all of this around the outside. Now to do this, we start with the hacksaw. So I'll just grip that stone there, tighten up the vise, make sure it's got a good grip on the stone, and get the hacksaw. The hacksaw, I'll be cutting along the line of my design. Now you don't have to put a lot of pressure on. The reason why I'm stabilising the table is because it's a very small table. Use a sturdy table. And you'll see it cuts the stone really quite quickly along the outside of my design. Now I'm going to do this quite quickly just to show you how it's done. Spend a bit of time on your design and don't push the tools too hard. Oh, there you go. And you see that we've cut that really quickly. And you see, I'll just cut along that edge of the design, and then we'd cut along this edge. We'll just keep taking those little corners off until we've got the round. Okay, I'll come back to you in a minute once I've cut all around them. So now you can see we've chopped off most of the stone around our design here. Then we're going to take the pad of paper. Some of this might be green, some of it's black, but you'll feel it, it's really rough. And then we're just going to put the points down, push down on the paper, move the stone back and forward. You see how quickly that takes that away? And then we'll move around to the next corner. There you go, we're starting to take that away. And we'll just keep working around the stone like this. We're getting closer to our little circle. You can do an awful lot of shaping with the stone just on this very coarse sandpaper. You see how close we're getting to the lines? So all you do is you see where you've got the most stone left outside of your design. You rest that on the paper, hold it firmly, move it back and forth, and that will come away. And see, we're getting closer and closer. And it doesn't take long. Once we're that close, you can just keep taking away the bits you don't want. slowly but surely, we're getting very close to our design. Now it's just a simple form this. You can carve whatever you like, obviously. If you pinch this powder in between your fingers, you'll feel why it's called soapstone. In fact, they make talcum powder out of the white stuff in northern India. So then we'll grip the stone again using the fairy side against the stone. That just enables the vise to grip it. And we'll pop it in the vise. Now I'm going to be doing this so you can see it, Sean. All I'm going to do then is take a file, the flat one or the half round one. We use the flat side, and we're just going to start to refine our shape a little bit. Move along your line there, and you'll see the stone comes away really quickly. Once we've got our outside line, so we'll start working on the surfaces, the front and back. Spend a bit of time doing that, but you can see there, we've got a half round coming, and that should be on the line of our design. So we'll do the same to the other side, and then after that I personally want to curve these sides outwards. So like the example pendant, you've got the flower, if you can see where it tapers outwards slightly and gets thinner towards the outside edge. That's what I want to do with this very small pendant. So for that I would use a mix of the file and the paper. But with the paper, you'll see if you hold the pendant, just rub where you want to take away the stone. You can see how quickly that takes that away. Hopefully you can see that. And I'll do that all the way around, refine the shape, and we should end up with something that resembles a Smartie, if nothing else. But we'll refine that shape and then I'll get back to you. Okay, you can see all I've done, and this is all with the rough sandpaper, is hold the pendant where I want to take away the stone. Just rubbed it on the surface, stone comes away, moved it around a little bit, done the same, moved it around again, and I've just moved around the stone slowly but surely. Don't try and take too much at one time, and just moved around slowly but surely. It's going to need a little bit more refining, but we're ending up with a small round disc. You can pretty much, after the hacksaw, do most of the main shaping like this with the rough sandpaper. Now then, the next stage will be to pop it back in its vise and just get it in there. Now we're going to be using, I made this quite small, we're going to be using the file to really refine that shape somewhat. So just take your time, take the file and move around your pendant, really refining it all, getting rid of all the bits you don't want. This way we then undo the vise. Move the pendant round in the leather a little bit, put it back in the vise, and carry on and move around the pendant like that. Just refining the shape to how you want it, taking away any bits that are sticking out, getting a good curve round it. Right, I'm going to move around the pendant like so and just refine it a little bit and then come back to you. Okay, now you can see we've gone around it with the file. We've just taken away some of the edges, rounded it off. The next step would be to move on to the sandpaper. Now with the sandpaper, I like to cut off a little bit of the roll, fold it again. So you've got a great little corner there with sandpaper on all sides if you need to get into any details. So on the finished pendants that are in your set, you'll see all the grooves here, they would have got in with the sandpaper just to clean up those moves. So, but with this simple form, all we're going to do is run over the surface. We want to remove as much of those scratches that we made with the file as possible. Now the longer you spend doing this, the better finish the polish is going to have on it. So spend a bit of time just working over the surface. Again, you can do this in the vise like so. You can do it by hand. We're just running over the surface. It will still take quite a bit of stone, so you've still got a chance to refine some of your shape. I'm going to run over this simple little form, get rid of all the scratches, and then come back to you. Okay, so we've run over it with the paper. We've just, I mean, the longer you spend, the better finish you'll get. So there's still a few scratches on there, but if I spent a bit of time, I would get rid of all the marks on the surface. So there's your really little simple form. Now the next step will be to take the wax. Just take the wax, use a bit of cloth or even a cotton bud. I'm going to use my finger just for ease, and then start to put the wax on the surface. What it does is it brings out the natural colour in the stone. So there you go, I've got it all covered in wax, and you can see from the colour of the stone we started with to the finish, there you go, that's going to be the natural colour of your stone. Now we can use the soft part of the leather just to give it a bit of a finish and a shine. And just take away the excess wax. So now you can see she's got a bit of a shine on her. So that's how you carve your general shape. Now next would be to put in the detailing. Now for the sake of the camera, I'm not going to put it in the vise, but to use the small chisel, if you sandwich that in the leather, put it in the vise, so the side you want to carve is facing upwards. Make sure she's firmly in there, but for the sake of the camera I'm going to do it holding it down here. And then on the surface, as with the examples, you'll see they've got the polished stone and then they've got these highlighted marks. Now these highlighted marks are just, I'll just do a very simple line and you'll see, just carved in. Again, if it was in the vise, I'd be using both hands, pushing away from myself really gently, and you can see that we have a little mark in the stone there. So you can accomplish any design you like. I would suggest using the corner of the chisel if you have a design. Say we had another circle to carve, just to use like you would a pen and draw with the corner of the chisel your initial design. Okay, and you'll notice the more times you go over that line, the deeper it gets. So there you go, that's how I would draw my initial design, first with the pencil, then I would go over it with the corner of the chisel, and that gives you a guide. And you can just keep going over that line and it will just get deeper and deeper. Or you can hold it in the vise again, pushing away from yourself, and carve around that line. Okay, so say we have a design there. In fact, I'll refine that and get back to you. So there you go, I've just used the chisel and just moved round and take away the stone around the initial circle that I drew. Just taking it around, refining the edge of the circle. Obviously we do this in the vise, and we push the chisel around, move the pendant around, and just refine the shape. Do it really gently. For the sake of the camera, I'm holding it, but keep it in the vise. And you can see, look, we just go really gently. We're hardly putting any pressure, and it takes the stone away. So I'm quite happy with that. Little simple design there. It's just a circle within the bigger circle. And then I wanted to make it a pendant. So I mark where I want the hole. So I think we're going to have the hole about there. And so for this, we'll use the pointed file. We'll place it there where we want to make the hole, and we use it like a drill. We just drill through the stone. It might not feel like there's a lot going on, but slowly but surely that stone, you can see the powder building up, is disappearing. So if we do this, it takes a little bit of time just to work through. It's an interesting way of seeing how far through the stone you've gone, is put the point of the chisel in the hole, run your thumb up to the surface of the stone, pull it away, and you can see that's how far you've gone. So we're not even halfway yet. So I would keep going from this side until we feel like we're over halfway, like so. A little bit of patience and you'll get there. So if you can see the very small hole we've made there, I would then come to the other side, make sure you're in approximately the same area, and start drilling through from the other side. And in no time at all, your two holes will join up, which I'll do now and get back to you. So there you can see we've now got our hole just by working it from this side, like this, just slowly but surely, and then working it from the other side. No pressure, just let the tool do the work. And there you go, we've got our hole. And there you go, that's a simple pendant form. Obviously we can do it to any scale. In the next video I'm going to take you through some of the carvings that have been done and give you a quick explanation of the process of how to do them.